I'm going to show you how to do it with this rental kit from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Part number 67213. Use a 19mm socket to remove the wheel. Next, let's remove the cap off this master cylinder. Oh no, that's a clutch. Next, let's remove the cap off this master cylinder. Don't confuse it for the clutch master cylinder if you're driving a stick. Go ahead and remove these rotor screws. These ones are really easy because the owner did the brakes not too long ago. But if yours are super tight and they won't come off, you can put your screwdriver in, grab a pair of pliers, grab the front side of the screwdriver just like this, squeeze it tight, and as you're pushing in with one hand, turn with the pliers. So whoever did these brake pads before put them all backwards. This should be in the back. This is the indicator. Well, remove the 12mm bolt holding onto the brake hose. And we want to get it out of the way. And we want to push it out of the way so we can get to the bracket bolts. Let's give the caliper some slack by using a pry bar. But you know what? I can't get a good grip here, so I'm going to come up here to the brake pad and I'm going to pull forward. Use a 17mm socket to remove the caliper bolts. Don't drop it. Make sure you don't just hang the caliper. Put it on something. Make sure there's no stress on the caliper hose. And we are replacing that. Bro. Use a 32mm axle nut socket to remove the axle nut, but I don't have to because someone has already worked on this car and they didn't do a very good job. So everything is loose on this car. Use your 17mm to remove the nut that's holding the spindle onto the control arm. $17mm for the tie rod end. It's actually pretty cool that everything is 17mm on this car. Bad thing is, everything's loose. Didn't even need the hammer. Everything is loose, like I said. Anyway, let's get this control arm up. Let's pop this control arm up so that we can bring the spindle forward. You can also turn it, that way you don't try not to hit the threads. Bada bing, bada boom. If you turn the spindle to your left, towards the front of the car, you can grab the axle and pull it out, like this. Aha, bottom ball joint, 17mm. Alright. Let's grab a bungee cord, let's just get this axle out of the way. We're just going to lift the axle as much as we can. That looks great. Now we have space for the hammer. Pop goes the weasel. There we go. We're going to push the hub out first. You're going to want to grab this nut that comes with the O'Reilly rental kit or AutoZone. Stick it right in here, and the bolt's going to go straight through here. And we're going to pull the hub out first. We're going to use this setup This is the bracket C, which is the hub puller, and the horseshoe adapter F. I'm gonna put it straight behind the hub like that. 27mm in the back, 32 in the front. This one came out like gravy. Oh, look at that. Normally I have to take off the snap ring right after this, but for this one, I don't, because the snap ring is stuck onto the hub. I'm gonna need it. Huh. I have a love-hate relationship with snap rings. If you're having issues trying to find the adapter that you're going to use, what you could do is grab the adapter, grab the bearing, and see if it's gonna fit through. Like this one obviously is not gonna fit through. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's try a different one. That one will work. Yes sir, that will work. Alright, so this is the setup. We're going to use step washer J on the back side of the hub, adapter sleeve S, spacer ring U, and support plate H on the top. Gonna have to use some pliers in the back, or channel locks, whatever they're called. And it was a success. Make sure you clean the inside surface where the snap ring goes, right here in the front. Alright, after we've cleaned the inside of the surface, now we can install this wheel bearing. Let's go ahead and grab some WD-40 or some PB Blaster. We're just gonna put it around the bearing. And I don't know if this makes a difference. I assume it does. And this one is, this Honda is non-ABS. It doesn't matter which side is facing out or facing in. This is your setup for the reinstallation. You're going to use step washer O on the back side and step washer L on the front side. Put the nut on the back side. Right, 27mm on the bottom side, 32mm on the top. And I'm going to start this by hand because I do not want to bind this bearing up, and then I will move on to the impact as soon as I make sure that this is going in correctly. And it feels like this top one is sliding off. Let's keep it right there. Alright, everything looks like it's going in smoothly. Let's go ahead and use our impact. Let's make sure this goes in centered. The top plate looked like it was moving off. Might have to do it by hand. Flip it over on its side to give me more leverage. You're going to need a stop pull out and check a few times to make sure you're not crushing anything, because if you crush the bearing, it'll wear out faster. Awesome, that should be good. Before we put the hub back on, we're going to put the snap ring back in. Just like that. We're going to use step washer J to support the back side of the bearing while we push the hub forward into the bearing. And we're going to use step washer L on the inside of the hub and push everything together. Channel locks or pliers in the back. I should really find out what they're called. 32mm in the front. We're going to do everything by hand first. Make sure that nothing binds up. Make sure that the back side of the bearing is supported. And you have to make sure the bearing is supported and not the back side of the knuckle. If you support the knuckle, the hub will push all the bearings straight through the back. And then you're going to have to redo everything all over again. Alright, once you feel it bottom out, go ahead and remove everything. And you're all done. You have a brand new wheel bearing and hub assembly. Go and turn that thing. Make sure everything looks good. Everything looks dandy. Let's go install this knuckle. Alright, we're going to begin this reinstallation of the knuckle by putting the lower ball joint in. First, we're going to turn this entire knuckle towards the front of the car so that we can get around the axle. Grab your nut, install it the best you can. You're going to have to wiggle the steering knuckle around. This is a minor inconvenience compared to removing everything down here on the suspension. Let's go ahead and drop our axle that's being held up by this bungee cord. The best way to do this is to point the knuckle towards the front of the car and grab this axle and also point it towards the front of the car. And we're going to bring it down. Let me make sure you can see. And we're just going to align it back through the knuckle, just like that. Let's grab our axle nut. Just put it on finger tight for now, just so that the axle doesn't go flopping everywhere. Let's grab our upper control arm and pull it down, just like that. If you're struggling to keep the control arm down, you can grab a pry bar, put it in one of the springs of the strut, just like this, and pull it straight down. Grab your nut. Don't let go of your pry bar yet, because we are going to tighten it down just enough. And we're going to tighten everything back down when we put everything to right height. Alright, now we can let go. Let's reinstall this tie rod end. Just push on the knuckle straight down like that. Put the nut on. Alright, we are almost done. Now we can put this rotor back on. If you have an older car like this one, you might find that the dust shield is hitting the rotor, and you don't want that because it's going to make a really nasty noise. You can grab some dikes and just bend it back out. just like that. Best way to check is just to move this around and see if you can hear any scraping. Next, we're going to be reinstalling the caliper bracket, but before we do, let's not forget our thread locker. Now let's go ahead and tighten down the brake caliper bolts. Alright, and everything is loose right now, but we're about to tighten it up. Don't forget to reinstall this brake hose. We are almost done. All we have to do now is jack up the suspension from the bottom side of the controller. We're going to jack it up to ride height, and then we're going to tighten down the top bolt, the bottom bolt, the tie rod end, and the axle nut. Almost done. We're just going to tighten this axle nut down to 133 foot-pounds. Put a screwdriver in through the caliper so that nothing moves. Awesome. And there's still some movement from the inner tie rod end, and that's going to be next. We're going to grab a chisel and we're going to punch right up into this little crevice right here that the axle has. Should look just like that. And last but not least, tying down the lug nuts to 80 foot-pounds.